We even got leftovers. Oh, I love it. Yeah, a bunch of stuff. Yeah, a bunch of stuff.
Can't imagine.
We'll call the meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge. The pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
privilege of the floor. Okay, nothing. Approval of the minutes, the April 16th meeting and the April 26th meeting. A motion to approve. Sue made the motion, second. Steve seconds, all in favor? Approval of the financial report for April 2018, a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Steve made a motion, second.
I'll second.
Kelly seconds, all in favor? Carried. Audit of bills, vouchers number 104 to 130. The general account for a total of $33,788.70. There was a last minute one from McFadden Gear for $22,441.21. Vouchers number 49 to 60 for the highway account, $25,490.21. A motion to approve the audit of bills. Kelly made a motion, second.
I'll second.
Steve seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried. No review of budget report to date. Correspondence, we got a thing from the Village of Waddington asking for contribution towards the Bassmasters. We have never been asked before for this one. I'm not sure, can we do that, Vicki? Is that legal? Because I know when we did the Summerfest, we had to have a certain fund for it. Discussion? Anyone wish to or want to move on?
Could you tell us what it is, Sue?
It's the Bassmaster Elite Series that they hold in Waddington every year, and they're looking for donations to help with the event.
To organize it, you mean?
What's that?
To organize it?
To help with the vendors and any other thing that they have expenses for. No donations too small. All monies raised will be used to host future events. We will do everything possible to highlight your organization at our events. Your donations will help ensure that families will have future shows to enjoy. Any amount would be greatly appreciated. You must see an increase in your sales tax check from the county during that quarter.
Can I comment on that? I think it might be it's a pretty large event. They have about 35,000 people that attend.
Mm-hmm.
And they have it's free admission.
Mm-hmm. There's
So-
concerts and stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is.
To help, yeah.
Okay.
Anyone care to comment on it? Move on. Under old business, Board of Ethics. I got an email from two former members of the, oh no, sorry, skipping. Board of Ethics, I was going to the Wind Board first. Board of Ethics, I have two names that were sent me, three names that were sent to me expressing an interest. I have Robert Bloom, resident and taxpayer of the town of Hopkinton, and would like the opportunity to serve on the town ethics committee. I'm a pastor of a small home group and also an employee of Fairfield Hopkinton School. A letter from Lauren Kaler. I'm writing to express my interest in serving on the town of Hopkinton's ethics board. I believe I would be a good fit for this appointment for several reasons. First, while I'm aware of the current situation and tense political climate in the town, I have not involved myself and therefore have not formed any opinion, any options about anyone or anything that is currently going on, allowing me to remain objective to anything that may arise. Second, my experience in education will allow me to intelligently and objectively assess any situation that arises. I have experience in the service industry, healthcare industry, and higher education, and my educational background is in economics and radiation therapy. I am happy to answer any additional questions you may have regarding my qualifications. I hope you find this statement sufficient to appoint me to this committee. And the third one I have, I, Rick Akins, would like to submit to be on the ethics committee board.
Who was that?
Rick Akins. So as stated at the last meeting, the ethics board consists of 3 people. One has to be a town employee, which one of the highway crew has agreed to be on there, Chris Tracy. So we need to appoint 2 others.
Those are the only emails you received or contact you received?
For ethics committee, yes.
Didn't you send them?
I didn't get one from you.
That one
You should.
right after the last meeting.
Yeah.
I didn't get one. These are the only 3 I received. Sorry. So you put your name down. So, any discussion on these names? And who we'd like to appoint?
Well, I think we asked them to send us something, describing why they would want to be on the board, and only 2 out of 3 of those actually do that.
So you want to put on Bob Bloom and Lauren Kaler?
Yeah,
So you're making that motion?
yeah.
Second? I'll second. All in favor? Aye.
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 Three? There's no other names.
Yeah, I don't know any, I know Robert Bloom and I know the Akins, but I don't know.
So
I reached out to a few people if they couldn't even take the time to send an email in.
Is the Lauren Brutal?
Okay, so
In writing?
email.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yes.
I understood.
No, these are the only emails I had. And apparently it was Charleston, but I didn't get it because I print them out when I get them, so. So all in favor that we appoint Robert Bloom and Lauren Taylor?
Can you just do that?
Well, I didn't hear Sue vote.
Yeah, that's.
Gilbert? Okay, we will appoint Robert Bloom and Lauren Taylor. On to the Wind Advisory Board.
Sorry, Sue, what was the name of the town employee again?
Chris Tracy.
Mhm.
The Wind Advisory Board.
I've got one here, to report it.
Well, while he's looking,
Here you go.
I would like to be considered for a position on the Wind Advisory Board. I would bring 45 years of construction experience and having worked in water conservation, solar energy, and thermal resources. I have a good idea what green energy means and what it can and cannot produce. My position would be in the best interest of all the town residents. Earl McBride. We also had, from last month, Dwayne French. And after the last meeting, I received an email from John Niles And a couple days later, Steve Hopkins, who both informed me that they would like to be put back on the wind board and continue. So that gives us 4 names. And we need to do 2 to appoint an alternative.
You got more names than that, so.
Oh, I know, you're on it, and Sandy Mae and Janice. Discussion.
I think it's very worthwhile to keep who we had on there, Steve Hopkins and John Niles. They did a lot of work on there. They're willing to come back on. I think that would be the right thing to do.
I think. You want a motion?
I make a motion to put them back on the board.
Second? I'll second. Objections to putting Steve and John Niles on the board? Okay, call for a vote. Steve?
No.
Okay. No for both Steve and John?
My motion would be different, but
Okay.
no for this particular motion.
Vote is yes.
My vote is yes. Sue?
Mine's no.
Okay. Steve, do you want to put your names forward?
Yes, I would make a motion that Dwayne French.
No, you can't, it's the wind board.
You need a judge.
Steve?
I would make a motion that Dwayne French, Earl McBride be appointed to the board and Steve Hopkins be the alternate.
I would second that.
I don't know.
I don't know.
So, I know I can go, you two need a judge, so I will go along with that. I vote yes.
Sorry, I was told you can't vote, Gilbert. I'm going with what our attorney told us. So we have a tie.
Okay?
Any other names you would consider? No?
Can we ask who the other members were going to be?
I had interest expressed from Janice Pease.
No, I'm talking, were there other previous members that were going to stay on? Is that what I'm-
Those were the only 2.
The only 2 that had gotten off previously.
The only 2 that had gotten off, so Jody Wenzel,
Is still on.
Mary Jane.
Dick Powers is still on, and Mary Jane
Mary
too.
Jane's still on, okay, so.
Last month, there were 4 members that approved of Sandy Main.
As an alternate.
Actually, no, that's on there.
No?
There were 4 members that agreed that Sandy Main,
Right. Because we didn't have a second. Is this something we can go in executive session over?
Can you ask for an explanation as to why they didn't pick on the previous
Well-
board members?
You can, but I really didn't want to do that in public, but I guess we can.
I have a problem with the way they quit when their recommendation was taken. And it's not that the whole law wasn't taken. It was just, you don't want to take our advice, then we quit.
Can I speak? I
Certainly,
did because
John.
of health reasons. Heart. That's why I resigned. We just had another monitor put in the other day.
Sue?
I think it's good to get some new ones involved.
So could I ask a question? Were the resignations that were accepted by the board? No. think they were, and I think those members are still on the board. The board has not ever officially accepted the resignation.
I think you just stated that they were members.
Yeah, I don't know without the minutes, but, all right, we're not gonna get agreement tonight. Let's table it. One more.
I would also ask you to look up what I've given to you before with definition of advisory boards.
Yeah,
They have no powers.
Right.
No oath of office.
yeah, I know, it all comes to
And
action.
that advisory
It
committee.
it also, that is very true, but the Wind Advisory Board, they did their job already. You know, if there's going to be anything changed, it's going to be up to the board. So why wouldn't we appoint the previous people back on it, since they did their time?
I just told you why I chose not to.
Well, John just spoke up and corrected you.
Well, I'll go back and read his email, his letter of resignation, and see what it says.
All right, let's table this for next month. Committee reports. Oh, no, sorry. Kelly had added, utility program. I didn't get in touch with them to come this month. I will try to see if I can get them here for the June meeting. Committee reports, supervisor update. I really don't have anything new to add. Code. Two building permits issued, 3 total permits to date, 0 demolition permits, 1 permit down from last year at this time, no violations or complaints. Permits and on 90. Addition to solar system on workshop on 365 Town Line Road. And a 50 by 128 storage shed, front and rear porch on the residence.
It should be.
I know, I'm looking at that going on 11B. Assessor. He attended the April St. Lawrence County Assessors Association meeting in Canton. Darren Colton was the guest speaker. Darren was the Office of Real Property Director for St. Lawrence County and retired last June. He's still involved in teaching assessors certain information regarding procedures of valuing property. Darren's presentation this seminar included understanding sections 3, 5, 6, and 7 in the roll book along with the New York State Transition Assessments, the 2018 Income Verification Program, and the schedule for entering new information. Any towns not keying the information must bring in the applications to Bruce. St. Lawrence County Real Properties Office has hired a new data collector to help out assessors when it comes time to do reevaluations. And she will help with taking information from recording data on parcels that have new construction. The roll books have been delivered to the Real Property Office for final corrections and keying. I received the new tentative roll books to have property owners review their assessment changes if they have any. The dates to review the changes with him will be published in the town's official newspaper and on the municipal building bulletin board and the town's website. Training dates for the grievance board has been established. The town of Hopkinton did not need to have any board member renew their training this year. New tax maps have been ordered and will be picked up sometime in May. Real Property will send me the online maps. Amish construction training class will be in Lake Placid on June 1st, 2018. Library? No report. Museum?
Okay, Dwayne Black will be starting shortly on the restroom operations and capital plans that we approved last month. He's currently very busy, but hopes to get started soon. He'll be working through a weekend to minimize interruption with the museum and library. The Hopkinton Historical Group has some exciting projects coming up. They're working diligently to make the village green a must-see in the town of Hopkinton. The museum foundation, roof and siding repaired. They have a few other projects for this spring and early summer. First, they will be using the old stone sidewalk that was removed along 11B to create a memorial walkway from the museum to the gazebo. The walkway will be lined down each side with pavers. As a fundraiser, the pavers can be purchased and engraved with names of deceased loved ones. More details and prices for purchase of pavers to be announced soon. Second, we received a quote for $3,575 for the National Register plaques proposed for the museum, town hall, and church. The Hopkinton Historical Group has raised $3,450 through donations and are seeking the remaining $125 to complete this project. The remaining projects they have planned for this year include finishing the exterior of the museum building. These two items are pressure wash repair and paint the front porch, paint the window trims, and not paint from the siding project. The porch project was quoted at $1,300 and the windows at $600. Being that those are exterior building maintenance projects, the Hopkinton Historical Group is hoping that the town can assist them with some of the costs. The Hopkinton Historical Group also encourages everyone to visit the Hopkinton Cemetery to see the recently purchased and installed founders plaques. A reminder, Hopkinton Historical Group has some upcoming events. The Hopkinton Fort Jackson Cemetery Tour will be June 16th at 2 p.m. And a genealogy open house will be Saturday, July 21st. One other item that Vicki just gave me is the museum was inspected for the fire extinguishers, and there is not one in the basement, and it is required. That'll be $90 for that.
What was the cost on the porch and the windows?
The porch was $1,300, and the windows was $600. And I guess being exterior maintenance work and technically the responsibility of the town, I would like to see us take them up on their offer and meet them halfway maybe. That's saving us, the town, a few $100s, and they're offering to pick it up through their fundraising. That's just.
Okay, put that down with the new business. Town facilities?
Nothing to report, this food pantry and the blood drive is here this Wednesday, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Wednesday, and I have a sign sheet. Anybody wants to begin blood, come and see me.
Rescue.
Tri-Town responded to 50 calls in the month of April, 6 of those being the town of Hopkinton. We also had, I believe, 2 long-distance transports to Syracuse.
Thank you. Sorry, Steve, I skipped over Iowa. You're up.
Well, 5 times since the last meeting. We moved plow equipment from all trucks and service trucks for summer use. Put new muffler brackets on truck 6. Cleaned up the park out here for the 12, got it out. New backup alarm on truck 7. All town roads have been swept. All gravel, all the dirt roads, repaired potholes, approximately 100 loads of gravel. Removed the posted signs on 426-18. Moved trees from the road after windstorm. The last windstorm took about 3 days. Put new rear brakes and rotors on truck 1. Had 2 men go to town of Lawrence and grind some stumps for him for a day. Put a new culvert on the Harriman Road. Put a new driveway culvert on the Meacham Road for nets. And put a 2-foot overflow culvert pipe on the Meacham Road, maybe to stop some of the flooding in the spring. Put 2 new U-joints, truck 2. Had 3 men in camp for a day for MSHA training. And I had trucks 5 and 7 undercoated, which are the 2 newest trucks. Put mag plate on the dirt roads where needed for dust control. Plan maybe next week to start paving. We'll pave 2 miles, pave municipal agreement between our town and the town of Parrishville and the town of Stockholm, because we plow each other's roads. Also, he told me that PESH, which is a state agency, public employee safety and health, whatever it is, but they just hired 15 new people and they're going to be inspecting all these towns. And if you haven't got the anti-harassment training or the workplace violence training, if they come and nobody has it, it's $50 a day per person until you get it. So he recommends, and also down there we have to have safety meetings. He recommends hiring some of the towns have got him, a guy named Safety Joe. It costs about $1,800 a year for him to, I think he comes every month for us, but he probably work with you. Anybody that draws a paycheck from the town's got to have them 2 courses.
What's the course?
Sexual harassment and
Workplace violence.
workplace violence.
We already have those, now that's how we know.
You have to show proof that you had it.
And then like OSHA, if they come in and I don't have monthly training records, he said even legally we can't use a fire extinguisher till we've been trained. You gotta have a certificate.
So fire safety training.
Yeah.
So,
This guy comes in, he does all the training that's required, he keeps all the records.
I'm just wondering if there's any way, because you don't have that many people, we don't have that many people that have to do it. I wonder if you can, like go to a different agency and have it done. State agencies all over have to have that.
Yeah, it's everybody.
Right, still not very
Board
many.
members, everybody that works. for the
Librarian,
Right. I mean, like, just for example, Sunmount has that, regular.
I just want to bring it to your attention.
I don't know if there's something.
You're gonna have to get it, because it's gonna cost you a whole lot of money if
If
they
we
catch
don't,
you.
yeah.
Wonder how long before they make the town board and take the course.
You said that we do.
You do,
Everybody
really?
does.
Everybody draws a
You
paycheck.
contact them.
You gotta let them come.
They do it once a year down there.
You need a beauty.
Set something up.
There are online trainings available through the state for free.
And the other call I had was from the DEC. They were just talking about fuel tanks and things. Apparently they came when I wasn't there. And he called me and wanted to know what we did with a 2,000-gallon heating fuel tank. I told him it's sitting out back and we switched to propane. Well, he said you could be fined for that because you should notify us when you take it out of service. But to make a long story short, we've got to clean it. And I called the 2 closest people to do that. I called one twice and he wouldn't get back to me. This guy wants $3,148 to cut the tank, clean it, and send the paperwork to the DEC.
Scary.
And the fuel containment, I priced the precast containment tanks. And they were $950 a piece.
No, you need just one?
No, we need 2. And I figured out the cost of the building, you're gonna have about $6,000 next year, you're gonna have to put into it. To change the fuel containment.
So the fuel containment, did they tell you that we had to change that out now?
He told me, I asked him if the cinder block one we had was illegal yet, he said, no, it's not illegal yet, but he says if we come and it's not sealed inside and out and you haven't got petroleum-based caulking, he said they find one crack in it, they're gonna cite you and it's a hefty fine. He said, I suggest that you do it as soon as you can.
So it's not something you can budget for next year?
Yeah,
It
you
is.
can budget for it.
Yeah, okay.
And I think they all got a sample, because, the insurance guy asked me if we plowed any seasonal roads, I said no. Well, he said no, somebody builds on one, residence or business, you've got to build the road, you've got to maintain the road. And he gave me a law, a sample law that the town of Rutland drafted. They had somebody that went a mile back on a seasonal road, built a sugar shack, started making maple syrup, wanted to tell them to maintain the road, they said no. So the guy took them to court and won, and they had to build a mile of road and they had to plow.
Okay, just look for wind turbines.
Yeah.
So,
Who's the insurance carrier?
my recommendation would be to draft up a local law that says anybody that files for building permit on a seasonal road, the town board and the highway superintendent have to approve that. Because if a blacktop road ends and somebody wants to build 200 feet on a seasonal road, and build a $200,000 home, you can build 200 feet of road to them. You know, you don't want to stop development, by the same token, you don't want to have to build a mile of road for sugar shack.
You wouldn't have to build the road, you could keep it a dirt road, correct?
You keep it a dirt road, but it has
You
to
still have to
be,
maintain it.
you have to maintain it, you have to widen it, put culvert pipes in, cut trees.
Maybe you have to plow it too, do you?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So maybe that's something I can work with Vicki on a little bit, draft something up and have you look at it. But we should do something, but since I've been in here, there's 2 times that freaking happened.
Okay, so you do that up and then we can send it to Roger to review. Okay? Any other good news, Steve?
No, that's pretty much it.
That's funny. Okay, VHLS Health Center.
No report, was trying to move Nancy in the house.
Grounds,
I would like to go back to the VHLS Health Center. Because
Okay.
like after last meeting, I don't know if anybody else like caught it, but I was very confused when I left here. Because it's always been said that the town doesn't pay any money at all for the health center. That's still correct, that they don't pay any money. But last meeting, I questioned the $450-some that we were paying for the maintenance. And my response was, well, we pay that every month. And I got wondering, well, how can we have 0 paying when we have this bill? It comes out of the check. So the doctor pays the check and then the money comes out of it. So the town isn't paying any money for that. I just wanted to clarify that. Did I say it correctly?
yes.
Okay.
Groundskeeper.
Hopkinton Parks, mowing quite a little bit. And as you see, the trimming hasn't been done. Finally got the trimmer going today. Spark plug wire was off. So rollers are worn out on the mower, having to replace them along with putting on new blades Wednesday. The Fort Jackson Park, the ball field is getting very thin with grass. The moss is really taking over, same as it is over here in back of the town office and out here in the park. Brush is encroaching on the ball field along with the rest of the park, and I'm going to be cutting that, back to where it should be. Let's see, picnic tables are getting in rough shape. In the past, when I come onto the job, they were using stain instead of paint, and the 2 picnic tables that the Concerned citizens donated, I see, were painted instead of stained, and they seem to look as good this spring as they did last year. So when I recoat them, I'm going to use paint, and in the future. One of our blue spruce trees that we planted along the property lines in Fort Jackson, somebody needed one for a Christmas tree. So it's gone. So it's going to be a little difficult replacing it because one of that size will be, my guess, probably $150. So somebody was very kind to us. The park is also in bad shape where the sidewalks were replaced. What do you call it? It was free topsoil. Well, free is free because now I fertilized it well and lined it, and the grass is very sparse out there, and I'm not very happy with it. Stones are coming up also. Okay, let's see. Around the museum where the aerial lift was used to put new siding on the windows and so forth on the museum, it's really rough. There needs to be topsoil around there, and there's still some ruts there. On the out back area where the cement truck, where the driveway was put in for the cement trucks, that's real rough with stone, and it's hell on the lawnmower. The whole area around the new offices over here, it was never topsoil to begin with, and what do you call it? It's getting worse all the time, especially around the Hopkinton sign over to the offices. Very, very little grass there, and more disappearing all the time. It's thin and sandy. There are holes from rotting tree stumps in this park out here that just keep reappearing from year to year, along with, you know, ruts from vehicles overextending the parking lot, whatever. Let's see here. And over here, where there's been work done on the church and so forth in the past, there's ruts in this lawn over here. There was a stump taken out over there. There was a stump taken out over here on this corner. And both of those need to be filled, and that topsoil, or so-called, up there in the pit doesn't cut it. I would like to start off with one load of real topsoil. It's a 17-yard load delivered here for $330. This is top-notch stuff out of Winthrop. That would be a great start. Got two, as I mentioned, the two stump holes here. There is a very large maple tree over on the property line between the museum and the next door neighbor. It's really hollowed out and rotten, and if it comes down like we had a couple of windstorms here this spring, it's going to be our tree, guaranteed. I don't know what kind of damage it'll do. If it was to go toward the neighbors, it would do a lot of damage on his house. I don't think it'll quite touch the museum, but we'll see. Keep that in mind. The area around the new, I've got that. Okay, the area around the new office building, immediately in front of the building, is got crusher run on it. Doesn't make the building look too attractive for anybody that comes and goes out of there. Just like to re-mention that from last year. Landscape timbers around the gazebo are completely rotted out and need new ones, along with the flower beds. The flags will be installed this week, and we'll need some new. Not putting flags in Nickelville this year. The wind really beats the hang out of them, and I had to go get them because the draping are broke in no time last year. So that's the report. Thank you.
Okay, on to new business. Quote for the handicap ramp by the library. We received a quote from Dwayne Black pressure wash, paint the ramp and the deck of the new entrance. 2 coats will be required. Replace the broken rain gutter and install the snow guard on the roof. All for the small price of $1,100, which I thought was kind of high. Discussion on that? Did anyone else?
Can we just go back to the groundskeeper? Is that money, do we need to approve that? Does that need to be?
I've got it down here for me. So what does anybody think? Do they think 1,100 is too high?
Couldn't hurt to get another price and see.
No, we'll, from a different company.
Did we put it out for quotes, or you just?
No, Steve just asked me to put a quote together for it.
I think we should get at least 3 quotes or whatever, that would be my opinion.
Steve, can you get us 2 other quotes?
Me?
Well, I don't know, is that part of town facilities? Sue, can you get 2 other quotes?
We'll work together and see what we can get.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll table that. We don't need to worry about the quote for the town office for the fascia that blew off during the windstorm. Dick McGinn came and had his men, one of his employees, fix it at no cost to us. That's how business does it. So we can ignore that $350 request. Quote for the security system in my office. I didn't do it at the time when we had the security system set up in the court and put into the town clerk's office. But since I'm there at night by myself, it does get a little creepy. So the total price for that is $769.96. That includes the installation, the monitor, whatever else we need.
Does she need a monitor?
No, I don't have a spare one.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought you said there was a security system in Vicky's.
There is in her office. She has the monitor. She has the security in her office.
So they can't tie into that monitor?
That's, no, because then I wouldn't be able to see it either.
I want to go to my office, she wouldn't be able to see that.
Oh, you just want to see if somebody pulls up, or,
Yeah, I want to be able to see who's
so
coming
is this
in.
going in your office, or is it going outside?
No, it's going in my office. We have the outside one.
So you're going to be in your
It's
office,
going
you'll
to
see
tie
who
into
comes.
the system we have,
Right.
but she's going to have a monitor.
Got to have a monitor so I can see.
And it has.
You're going to be in your office, you'll see who walks. That's what I'm saying.
I can't see who pulls into the parking lot, and I might want to shut the door real quick.
You won't be able to anyway, you just said the thing's going to be in your office.
The monitor is in my office, so I can look at the
I just asked you
monitor.
where the cameras are going, you said in your office. Cameras are
No,
going outside.
no, the cameras are already outside the office. The monitor is going into my office.
Okay.
Is there a monthly fee on this as well?
I would assume so, because I think it would just
Not
be tied in with, we're already paying the monthly fee, so. Approve or not approve? We do still have money left in the building account.
How much money do you have?
Yes,
Enough to cover that?
yes, cover that area. Yep. Yep.
I would support this. I think it's important.
I'll second.
Okay, Kelly made the motion, Steve second, all in favor? Aye. Okay, yay, so I'll get a hold of NCC Systems. Shrubs and topsoil. As Mr. Wood mentioned, town office, we've been here 2 years? And we haven't done anything. We had a quote last year, but we never did anything with it. I think it'd be nice to get some shrubs put around the building, get him the topsoil he needs.
And it fits right into the museum division, so it was just all goes together.
So you said how much for the topsoil?
$330 for the first load.
330? the quote we got last year from Gary was quite, yeah, quite a bit.
Well, maybe again, we do get
Three different, yeah. So let's do that, but in the meantime, do you want to make a motion to approve getting the topsoil?
So can anyone comment on the topsoil? I would check with Seaway Timber and go get your own load. Because they have nice green topsoil, like Gus says. If it ain't screened around rocks, it's a lot easier raking up this dirt than it is rocks.
Appreciate it.
And I think from what I've seen, you got some pretty nice topsoil over
I'll check on
there.
it.
And tractor terms have always been very good for the hockey.
Yes, they have. I didn't realize they had topsoil.
Didn't know.
A motion to purchase the topsoil,
I make the motion.
second? Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so you can get your topsoil, I'll get quotes for the shrubbery.
Thank you.
Kelly?
Yeah, I'm just, I'd like us to consider moving our meeting to a different night. If a different night doesn't work, a different Monday, just so that we are not conflicting with the school board meetings and the financial meetings that the county holds. I think it would be nice if Rick Perkins could attend our meetings, we could attend their meetings, and I know I still have a child in school, and I would like to go to a school board meeting if I need to. And I just don't understand why a community this small needs to hold all the meetings on the same night. How does everybody else feel about that?
I'm open to any night, except for the second Tuesday of the month.
Mondays are usually okay.
Hmm?
Said Mondays are usually okay.
Does a different Monday work, Vicki?
Well, the second Mondays don't work because the financials aren't in. That's why in January and February, sometimes they don't have financial reports because it's too early. And if you get too late in the month, then your bills are really lagging behind and vendors want to pay.
Different days
Because you're
of the week?
going into the fourth week of the month and you're already a month behind in your bills because we get them in now. We don't meet again at the end of June. So the bills that are coming in now are already a month behind. They want to pay.
So is there a different day that works?
You don't need the other today.
And when does the
County Marshall?
Yeah.
I believe there's the last Tuesday of the month. And sometimes they're in the daytime, sometimes they're at night.
So that's the last Tuesday.
I think it's the last.
Yeah, I don't.
Joe?
I both of them.
Can you help me on that one? No?
Sure.
Well, that's what we're saying.
Mondays.
The
Always
school
the
board?
third Monday.
The school board is, yes.
Yeah. Dory, when is the third show, you know?
I don't, the last
I don't think so
Tuesday,
either.
I
It's
think
too
it-
late. I think it's the third week.
I think so.
I think it's the same week as ours.
I know school board is the third.
We meet in the
It's the
morning.
fourth Tuesday of the month, I believe, which isn't always the last.
They meet in the mornings.
Not all the time.
4 times a year they just meet in the evening.
Any other discussion on this?
I can send a list of when my normal monthly meetings are for all the other organizations I'm in. See if that's everybody else's schedule.
Table to next month. Okay. As,
Oh, I have a question too, about the porta potty schedule for the Fort Jackson Park. Starting the porta potty for the Fort Jackson Park.
Okay.
Can I get that scheduled for Memorial Day weekend through to October? Can? Okay.
okay, as Steve Green mentioned, we and an inspection from the insurance company. And in addition to the highway stuff, our playground, we need to put signage up. Suggested that playground use rules be posted to restrict use of the playground to proper activities and to improve claims defense in the event of a playground injury. At a minimum, playground rules should include adult supervision recommended, hours of operation, and an age restriction. Playgrounds should be limited to children 12 or under. And Vicki did give us a sample.
So you could, you know, you don't have to use all of them rules because they may not all apply, but
Right.
sample of what we could post.
Oh, which reminds me, Mr. Wood, did you see the, all the grass growing up under the swing set?
It's on its way into the ground. I sprayed it.
Didn't want to hear that.
I have friends with these.
Sue, can I comment on this? If he's only getting the information from the inspector, I highly suggest that you deal with your agent before you make any decisions. Is it from the agent or?
This is our insurance agent inspector. This is directly.
Not the inspector, the actual agent.
This is our insurance
Yes,
guy
it
that
is.
comes annually from the insurance company.
So we need to,
We're not.
So let's go on.
we need to come up with some rules.
Well, again, I don't find these with these rules on.
Yeah, it doesn't say that it.
My opinion would be to make pick the least amount of these as we can agree on. You know what I mean? I just don't see why someone come in and do a park like that, all of these rules.
Well, Steve gave me a reason tonight because one of the towns had a playground with the swing sets, and the grandfather had brought his grandchild there, and they were swinging, and the swing broke, and the guy broke his leg, and now he's suing the town. So we need to protect the town.
Yeah,
Even
what I'm
though-
saying though is some of these rules isn't going to protect anybody from falling off the swing.
Well, no, but I didn't say we have to use all these, but we need rules.
Right. And
So do you want to get back to me on rules, and then we can get a sign made up? Are we going to do it now?
Be simpler to take the swings out of there.
Shut up.
No swinging, they're not down.
I guess I can see that.
Tried.
I mean,
Well, this was just a sample. We can go on, I can,
no bare feet, I agree with that. Especially when you-
I know, she's gonna go to the park and not.
You can't say no bare feet. It's kind of racist.
okay, why don't you get back to me and we'll work on this.
Did he give a deadline as to when we have
As
to
soon as
sign up?
possible. And another thing, Fort Jackson Park, basketball court and hoop at Fort Jackson Park is in a state of disrepair and could cause an injury to anyone using the court. Town should consider either rehabilitating the court and hoop or removing the hoop and demolishing the court. I think it should be removed. I don't think anyone uses it anymore because it's way at the other end. So, and we have to post a sign in the courtroom, the maximum occupancy. That was that letter.
Was there a cost on these signs? Did we get a quote for these?
No, we have to come up with something and we can get them made and we usually get our signs done.
If it was something we could move on tonight after we figure the wording, but we don't have a cost for these.
I don't want to make more work for Steve, but the walkway on the side of the, between 11B and the museum is in real bad shape. It's lifted up to the tree roots and so forth, and quite a few are broken and so forth, and I can't understand why the insurance company hasn't said something about that. It's in real bad
There's
shape. It serves no purpose.
Like Steve said tonight, they have the museum has some projects planned, and one of them is turning the gazebo around to face the museum with a walkway, so maybe you can do that at the same time.
Okay. And it serves no purpose there now.
Power at Fort Jackson Park.
No longer have any. The wire was pulled down during one of the windstorm and it was laying in the brook, and IMO came because they got called in and it was a hot wire, and they pulled the meter because they said it hasn't been used since 2013 and no power usage. And you wouldn't be able to hook it up with that meter or anything. It's going to have to be all new if you ever want power there again. She has a live wire on it.
Okay, I have one more thing that I would like to ask Sue and Steve. I heard a rumor that you had met with Avangrid. I'm just wondering if you did, if you could give us a report on that.
Yeah, we met with them the Tuesday that you were out of town. And it was nothing more than for what you told us to do, meet with them. And
I also told you that one to be included. And that Kelly was to be.
no, I didn't hear that.
I emailed you. And then you said absolutely that we would be included in the meeting.
That you would be included in a meeting, that we'd have to have a forum.
But we wanted it to be a public meeting so everyone could hear.
Will you let me finish? You told us to meet with them and set up dates. We sat down with them and only talked the dates that they were available. So all we did was try to do what you told us to do, was try to set up a roundtable discussion. Nothing was discussed.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. That's all I want to know.
Well, that could have been asked outside of a public meeting, Sue.
I only heard about it tonight.
It still could have been asked after the meeting.
Well, I didn't. And I
There's
want,
public information
Yes.
that we did.
Then we did exactly what we were told to do.
Exactly.
So not public meeting.
Reporting it to the public.
We were told to report when we got a date. We don't have a date yet.
Then you should just report, we don't have a date yet. We met with Avangrid on this date, and we don't have a date. When we do, we will set up a meeting.
And maybe we would have reported that, but this is
okay,
That's
adjournment.
ridiculous. No, are we going to talk about the museum's request for
Oh,
assistance?
I forgot about that. So, yes, I was trying to look to see how much we had left. Do you have that handy, Vicki? This budget officer?
Yeah, what's there, minus the bills over here, and then we've got the rest of the year, whatever, between now and December.
What was that?
I think I emailed you approximately what they use.
Yeah.
No, that would be from the building fund, that would be from the museum fund.
But if you have to meet them halfway.
Then it would come out of the museum fund.
I mean, basically, all they have in their budget is money for, they have money for fuel. That's what we budgeted. There's 3,200 in there, minus what's over there, and then you've got the rest of the year, for fuel and minor repairs.
Suggestions from the board?
I'm just wondering, because the way that I understood what you said is the museum was going to raise some of the money and needed us to pay half of it.
Yes.
And that half cannot come from the museum fund because that is only for fuel, correct?
No.
You
No.
can use it for whatever you want, but when they, I'm just saying
And
that,
they-
about all the budget for it.
And I believe Steve said that they raised the money for the historical signs, correct? Not towards the painting and, right, okay. Just want to make sure of that.
So I'm just wondering then where that money would come from.
Out of the contractual that we have for the museum, that the fuel comes out of.
Right, that's what I'm
Yes.
asking. If we take that money to pay for that, then what are we going to do when they need fuel?
We don't have to look for it some other place. I mean, we went overboard when we did the the repairs to the foundation and the siding, and it went over and we kicked in for it. So,
Well, they also kicked in for a roof. I understand.
No, I mean,
If they
I'm
didn't-
just-
If they didn't budget for it, then that's,
I don't mind looking into doing it. I'm more curious as where the money's going to come from. Because if they run out of money for the fuel, then it would have to come out of our general fund.
let's go to the general fund anyway.
That's why when I send out the budget sheets, and I don't get them back, or I get back blank budget sheets, that's why these projects, you can't do projects after the budget's been passed.
Because we haven't
$3,000,
budgeted
$4,000,
for it.
$5,000 worth. But when you don't get back budget sheets from people and organizations, they send them back blank. They want these projects done, but they don't want to go get the estimates. And then it's up to the board. I put the money in the budget. It is up to the board after that point.
I would say that we can do $600 for the window, towards the windows, and they can, yeah, and they can do the $1,300 for the porch. That's just my opinion.
Do you have it broken down, Steve, as to what the cost for painting around the windows versus?
600.
It was
Oh,
600.
it
And
is
1,300 was
okay.
the porch, yeah.
that would be your motion, Sue?
Yes.
I'll second
my
that.
motion.
I'll second that.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Save the 600 for the windows, right?
Yep. Any other thing that I forgot? And when I check with the places for the shrubberies for the town office, I'll see how much to get a blue spruce to replace the Christmas tree.
Don't get one that's too pretty.
I'll get a.
Get a truck.
Nothing else, a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Sue made a motion, second? All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourned.
Again, if anybody wants to sign up to give blood, come see me. I want your blood.